What is up, YouTube? We have another Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 243. And how this chapter begins is with Kenjaku and Tagaba performing their final act from the last chapter. Here, Kenjaku asks him if he is free on Wednesday because he wanted Tagaba to do free manual labor for him, which kind of like pissed Takaba off because like, bro, why am I gonna do that? Which was kind of funny. Takaba asked him if he ever heard the story of Momotaru. I think I'm saying that right. And it's here where it is revealed to us that Kenjaku never had a dad and he was lonely because his mother was always busy. And because of this, he became an attention seeker. And the two starts joking about Momotaro and how the Momotaro story is told to kids in Japan. Now, the story of Momotaro goes Momotaro was born from a giant peach, which was found floating down a river by an old childless woman who was washing clothes there. The woman and her husband discovered the child when they tried to open the peach to eat it. The child explained that he had been bestowed by the gods to be their son. That's how he got the name Momotaro. And they continued their banter and their comedy. They're going back and forth. And most of the jokes, from what I can see, is about Momotaro. So I'm going to give a little bit more context to Momotaro and its story because they made some references. So at the island, Momotaro and his animal friends, they ended up penetrating the demon's fort. And they ended up beating the band of demons into surrendering. Momotaro and his new friends returned home with the demons and they plundered the treasure and they pretty much took the demon chief captive. So this is why when you see Kenjaku, when he's talking about Momotaro being friends with a dog, because he had animal friends in the story of his story. And again, like I said, they continue the jokes and they use more references, like I said earlier, about the childless woman. They use about the old lady and her husband. And, Momo just means Peach and Taro's eldest child. So that's why they end up calling him Momotaro. But they suddenly start getting serious. But as you see, that Kenjaku is having a blast. And that's when Kenjaku suddenly becomes serious. And they both become dead silent. And then Kenjaku asks if something is wrong. And Takaba tells him that is this almost over because he actually doesn't want this to be over because this has been his dream to be on stage performing in front of a crowd, which he tells Kenjaku about how he's enjoying the fact that he has some fangirls out there that are really excited to see Kenjaku, which is hilarious. So Takaba is starting to cry, and Kenjaku is consoling him. And Kenjaku gives Takaba a pat on the back, and that's when the illusion ends, and we're back to reality. And Takaba's on the ground in a white robe, but it looks like a funeral robe to me. But it might not be a funeral robe, to be honest. Could just be a regular robe that Tagaba decided to use on himself because he can dang near materialize anything with his curse technique. But he thanks Kenjaku, and Kenjaku smiles at him and said that he actually had fun. Pretty much that Takaba is hilarious. And this is co-inspired with some of Kenjaku's character because we've seen spurts of Kenjaku trying to be funny and stuff. So we've seen spurts of it. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities of Kenjaku being a funny dude. But while he's talking to Takaba, having a good time, he didn't notice that Yuta has showed up. And Yuta slashes at Kenjaku's neck. Kenjaku tries to use the anti-gravity curse technique technique, but it doesn't work because Yuta's just too fast. And the reasoning why Yuta is aiming at his neck is because in order to kill somebody who uses reverse curse technique, you have to have sever their head from their body. And so when Kenjaku gets his head severed, he cannot use reverse curse technique. But he wonders how could he not notice Yuta, who had the second highest amount of curse energy. I also want you to remember that Kenjaku is the second best barrier user after Tengen, and he had placed a barrier with surveillance curse spirits, so he should have been able to sense Yuta. And on the brink of death, he realizes that it was Takaba. Takaba made it so that while they were doing their comedy, no one could interrupt their comedy performance. And because of that, Yuta was able to sneak up on Kenjaku, which Kenjaku asked Yuta if this was part of their plan, and Yuta tells him, yeah, that was part of the plan, and that they had planned to use Yuta himself to kill Kenjaku because Takaba wouldn't be able to kill another human, which is something that Takaba himself said earlier, where he couldn't kill another human being. And his goal was to be an entertainer more than a killer. And Kenjaku then says that this is a shame because he almost reached his goal, and that he states that his will be inherited. So the question is Kenjaku dead? Let me know what you think in the comment section below on what you think is going to happen. What you think Kenjaku is going to do? You think Kenjaku is going to go into Satoru Gojo's body now? Or is he going to go do something else? Or is he talking about Yuji? I'm curious of what y'all think. And if you enjoy Real Ninja Reviews content, just hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out, y'all.